Yeah, perfect. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. So welcome to the SSI, Atala, PRISM, Roots Wallet, RootsID, Snapbrilla after town hall today. I'm
Hello.
super excited because there's like
How you doing?
loads of exciting participation in the room. So I think there's going to be great demos, great conversation, and I don't want to take up too much time.
Good.
Because I know that everyone's been online for like many hours now with Cardano and Catalyst and Prism today. So thanks for your attention. Thanks for your time. We're going to dive straight into the demos. And after the demos, we'll do Q&As. So feel free to ask any and all of your questions, and the team will be.
A bit late because there's a problem with.
Sorry, please mute. And the team will gladly, thank you, the team will gladly answer your questions. So I'm going to hand over to Lance so that Lance can take us away with the RootsID Roots Wallet demo. Lance, over to you.
Hey, everybody. Thank you, Anushka. In Fund 7, Roots Wallet was born. It was originally called the Open Source Credential Wallet, and now we've got a brand. We've got a development group called RootsID, and that's actually an ecosystem of SSI tools. We have a organizational wallet and client interface called Wallet CLI. We have Roots Wallet, which is for individual holders. It's a mobile app currently on Android for managing your identity and your credentials. And we have several other projects building the ecosystem around Cardano and Atala PRISM for SSI identity. I have a video to show, but maybe I'll try to actually do a live demo. Let's see. I have it on. I have the app on an emulator, so hopefully sharing won't break anything. And if it does break, well, we can always do a demo. Can people see that? It should look like, okay, all right, thumbs up. So essentially, okay, this is your Roots wallet sitting on mobile. This is an alpha release, so mostly for playing around, testing, getting feedback from you guys. We would love to get your feedback. And so this is the contact screen. This is essentially your DID and the DIDs of people that you're connected to. That's a decentralized identity. In this case, we have Esteban here, and then my own history here. And so we have two tabs, contacts and credentials, credentials being the verifiable credentials that you get. So the two main concepts within SSI, two main technologies would be your decentralized identity and then the verifiable credentials. And so we've broken it down into these two tabs. And then we wanted a concept of history and a narration within the wallet, because a lot of the initial use cases is for SSI, like learning, demonstrating SSI and Atala PRISM. And so when you click on your contact, it essentially is your history of what's occurred so far. And specifically, I clicked on myself because this is my personal history for my wallet, my Roots wallet. So we just, it's in demo mode right now. So it has these introductory messages like, welcome to your personal Roots wallet. We'll post new wallet events here. You created your wallet. I called the wallet Catalyst Fund 7 Demo Wallet. And it says you created your first decentralized identity called a DID. Hopefully you guys can read that stuff, but I'll keep reading it to you. And then once we created our DID, we actually need to publish that DID to the blockchain so that others can issue us verifiable credentials. So we have a message here that says your new DID is being added to PRISM so that you can receive verifiable credentials called DCs from other users and organizations like Catalyst, your school, a rental company, whoever can do verifiable credentials. And then it says your DID was added to PRISM. So that took some time. So I kind of preloaded it here. But publishing to the blockchain takes time, as blocks are made, and we truly are there's consensus on the blockchain. So it takes a few minutes for that. That's already happened here. Now, one thing for Roots Wallet right now, we take for granted in the internet a communication layer, but a decentralized communication layer, right? A peer-to-peer decentralized communication layer is much more difficult. So in this alpha release, there is not a decentralized communication layer. And so that's part of why it's an alpha release. But a common way for getting started in a communication is with QR codes. And so in this case, we can show the QR code of our DID, and that's here. That's a little PRISM logo. If you don't know the Atala PRISM logo, just to show that that's a PRISM DID. So also in this demo scenario, essentially immediately the demo creates a verifiable credential for yourself. So that would be considered like a self-signed and self-issued verifiable credential. But that's just to show you guys, again, this is the log of your history of events, and it says you have issued yourself a verifiable credential. You can view that credential, and that pops up here. Credential is a very generic thing right now. It's just some JSON text that someone can send to you. That's called a claim, the section. And in this case, the verifiable credential that we sent to ourselves is that we are a PRISM DID publisher. We literally published our DID to PRISM. That's an achievement that should be verifiable. You know, it's you could imagine that Roots Wallet eventually actually will list out all your achievements as verifiable credentials. That would be fun, right? And so it just gives you some details here. This could grow immensely in terms of a view as use cases come along, right? What do you show for a verifiable credential? But some of the things that you could do with verifiable credential is share it. Again, we don't have a communication layer yet. We're working on that in Fund 8. We have a proposal that's funded for Fund 8. So we could show a QR code, right? Let's say if this was a vaccination record that says I'm verified that, you know, I got vaccinated at X date, you could show this QR code and someone could scan it. You can also verify it. So that verified on the blockchain that the hash or that the verifiable credential hash written to the blockchain hasn't had a revoke event sent against it yet. So verifiable credentials, you could think of them, they could have like timing based on them or something like that, right? Let's say expires in 30 days, or vaccination status maybe expires over a certain amount of time. The issuer would revoke it, and then, you know, that it could be checked if the verifiable credential that you're presenting is revoked. You can geek out and look at this stuff on the blockchain. Maybe I'll click that. This is actually going to my browser on my mobile app, and this is showing you the actual, so for those who don't know, Atala PRISM is currently only on testnet. So this is the Cardano Blockchain Explorer for testnet. And this is just showing you the details of what you posted for the blockchain. Let's see, we can go back. Yeah. And then, yeah, we can also get prompts like this. Do you want to accept this credential? So remember, this is a self-issued credential. So I issued my credential. We saw those messages above. Now I have a prompt. Do I want to accept it? I can click yes and confirm. And hopefully that is working. Oh, yes. Oh, credential accepted. Maybe I already did it. And so we can view that credential again. It's the same credential that I already showed you because we issued it earlier. And we also see other messages, like I added a new contact, Esteban, and another new contact, Rodolfo. We can also make a note. Actually, people have said, we've shown this to a few people, they've said making a note is actually pretty useful. So I could just say, I met Esteban at town hall, and I can send that to myself. Oh, hopefully. I'm not sure my emulator now is accepting click events. Oh boy. Well, this is the, this is, yeah, I can't click the send button. My emulator
things may break.
has died. Yeah, things may break. Oh man, I was almost getting to the credentials part. Hold on one second. Let's do a quick cheat here. See if we can, no, it's not accepting any click events. Now I can't click. Bummer. Well, The credential list I was going to show you essentially just shows a list of credentials that we've accepted, and you can click on it and see the same details that I showed you in the events. And then the only other thing I was going to show is that the contacts list had Esteban and Rodolfo. You could look at their their decentralized identity information, and you can also see that same event list that I showed. You could see it for Rodolfo, you could see it for Esteban, meaning any interactions I have my Roots wallet with their SSI-Wallet, whatever one they're using. Currently, we only can interact with Roots wallet, but we are now, I should mention, we are now also funded working on leveraging SSI specs, right? Open source specs that are currently being developed for interoperability. The goal being for Roots wallet to be interoperable with other wallets, especially right now, Wall CLI. We will begin working on communication layers with that, something called DIDCOM v2. And then in the future, if you are familiar with like Aries wallets and the Aries ecosystem, we would want to be able to interconnect with them, and really any SSI wallet that's leveraging the community, open source specifications, so standards, protocols. That's probably good enough. Questions? Would anybody be interested in giving us feedback at some point? I know I'll get feedback from Ninh. Oh, we've got Allison. Go for it. If you have a question, yeah, just speak up. Go for it.
Thanks. Awesome presentation. You've done an amazing amount of work. I'm impressed.
Thank you.
Just really quick question. You showed creating the DID and in PRISM, you said, and then publishing it to the blockchain. But just to confirm, a DID creator doesn't need to publish their DID to the blockchain, right? You could just keep it locally in your Roots wallet on your phone.
Yeah, that's a super good point. One of the things, that's right. So you don't have to publish. If publishing is only if you want to make your DID public so that others can begin issuing you verifiable credentials. But also you could have as many private interactions as you wanted. Usually that's done with something called a peer DID, and there will be work in when we do the DIDCOM v2 communication layer that will introduce the idea of peer DIDs both in Wall CLI and on Roots wallet side. So yes, it totally can be private communications.
Cool. And what's your roadmap? You said this is the alpha release. What's your roadmap to a beta release?
Yeah, good question. The roadmap is essentially every fund, Catalyst fund. So literally Fund 7 for us ended when Fund 8 started. And I'm wrapping up that release now to, officially in our open source repository. To put out that release. So Fund 8 for us literally is another 13 weeks. And so the secure storage with backup and recovery ability so that you could have your Roots wallet on multiple devices. If you lose your phone, you'll know that you've got a backup for all that information. That's in Fund 8. And then those communication proposals that we were talking about are also in Fund 8. At the end, with that communication layer and the secure storage and the ability to back up and recover, that would be our beta release. So that would be in roughly 13 weeks from now.
Awesome. Fantastic work.
Yeah, thank you. And we would love feedback on the interface. We know that it's a little bit well, one of our goals was to have this kind of conversational interface, but at the same time, it's a little bit different than a lot of identity wallets that you'll see out there, mobile identity wallets. And so we think that will give us a lot of flexibility for use cases to essentially narrate the user through your use case so that they kind of understand what's happening. Sometimes it's very difficult to understand in an SSI world, like what is actually happening here. And so we actually have a concept of workflows, specialized workflows which is what you kind of saw. It's a demo workflow that I threw together, but a specialized workflow for your use case that would essentially prompt the user through that use case in order for them to kind of come up to speed and gain some confidence about how to use their wallet in your use case.
Cool. And last question, I promise, then I'll give the microphone back. But
Sure.
is everything happening in the mobile app? So if I'm an issuer, I use the mobile app to issue credentials and verify them in the mobile app also?
That's also a really good question. So generally, you would more want to use something like Wall CLI for being kind of an organizational wallet that sits on a back end and is issuing credentials, and possibly even Wall CLI being being able to store people's wallets right out on a server. Roots Wallet is also has the ability to issue. Right now, I just showed like a self-issuing, but certainly we would want to be able to, between two users, be able to issue things. So on the Roots Wallet side, everything happens on the mobile app that you're there. So your secure storage and your ability to communicate and all those kinds of things. There will be some helper infrastructure. There's things in like the communication world for SSI, like called a mediator, that helps people to make connections. But all of the storage and all of your verifiable credentials and all of your DIDs and keys and things like that, they're all sitting on your device and eventually secured and backed up. That's the goal.
Oh, fantastic. I'm excited to see the next steps.
Yeah, thank you. Any other questions?
Yeah, man.
About
super impressive RootsID team. I'm excited to see similar demo at Consensus, or even improved demo if the internet works out. Obviously, we're partnering with you guys to integrate through Wall CLI and create a custodial SSI wallet, and then with ability to export and back up to their mobile wallet. So yeah, and it's one thing to kind of show and talk about it in a proposal, and another thing to actually demo it. So great job, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Ninh. We're super excited to be working with Snapbrillia and their use cases for quadratic voting and developer bounties. And we really believe use cases are what's going to make Roots Wallet like amazing, right? Because use cases that connect to people. And so if we can get feedback from people that have use cases and can give us like, if I could just see this one thing, and we could tell you if, well, that one thing is actually a million things, but every little step we take towards making the wallet capable of handling your use case, the better for everybody. And that includes Wall CLI. Actually, Snapbrillia is already showing integration with Wall CLI, which is like totally amazing. We're gonna do a little collaboration at Consensus, so we're gonna be there for that. If anybody's gonna be there, we want to talk to you, we want to see you, we want to meet you. That'll be totally cool. And yeah, we're just super excited. This is like the early days, but like it's so fun to be developing this stuff. And I will say, Ninh, you're totally right. Honestly, when we created the open source credential wallet proposal, we had no clue, or at least I didn't. Rodolfo knew much better than I did, but it was incredible just how hard it is to build a wallet and all the pieces that go with it. Essentially, a mobile app like this that is storing your identity means you need to be able to do like every imaginable thing that any of your mobile apps have ever done, right? So we have to prioritize those things. That's why your use cases would be super helpful for us. We know we need a communication layer and the other things that I mentioned, but as the funds go by and as new features are available, we really do need to prioritize what we tackle next, because there's just, identity is huge, right? It's everywhere. It's in everything, banking and education and, medical, you name it. So, yeah.
Lance, do you want to show the Roots ecosystem slide? I can. I got it.
Yeah,
So
I could probably find it in about 2 seconds.
no, I presented that, and you say I got it in my laptop. So I think
Oh, okay. Yeah, show it.
this one you can comment over there.
Yeah, so this is the real, like, this is what's the most exciting thing, right? Is that this ecosystem is building, and there's several different people involved in building the ecosystem, and pretty much everything you see here is absolutely necessary in order for there to be a real SSI ecosystem. So we talked, if we look at the bottom, obviously you have Cardano. Built on top of Cardano is IOG's Atala PRISM. That is, you kind of can think of it as the layer 2 on top of Cardano for identity. And then the RootsID ecosystem you see in the like orangish beigeish. And so we have our proposal funded in Fund 8 for Sidetree Cardano, which is next to the Atala PRISM portion. And that's going to help us immensely with interoperability. And it also leverages work that was already completed by Rodolfo. Now this would be building on top of that Sidetree implementation. And then you can see Roots Wallet sitting on top of Atala PRISM and Wall CLI. So Wall CLI, think of as like the backend wallet, Roots Wallet being the front end user wallet. And then both of those have funding also in Fund 8. And then above them, Universal Resolver and Mediator. These are necessary in order for the ecosystem of wallets to interact. And both of those were funded in Fund 8 as well. And then this Aries Cloud Agent Akapai is cloud agents are essential for a wallet ecosystem to be able to interact essentially with the cloud. So yeah, we're just super excited about that. And then you can see these other portions here, the VC schema catalog and the KYC credentials and partners use cases. This is you guys. And we need all the feedback that you can give us for Wall CLI and Roots Wallet for your use cases, as well as you know, some of these other parts. The point is we're building the infrastructure for SSI to exist on Cardano along with IOG and other Catalyst teams. So it's just super exciting times. And then the last thing I'll mention is that contribution to Trust over IP and Diff and Hyperledger and Carry. The RootsID team is dedicated to open source. We are open source. The things we're building are open source, so you guys can see them, contribute, and develop. And then we are using open standards. So that's from Trust over IP and Diff and Hyperledger and Carry. Those standards are being developed. We're attending those meetings, and we've already started to contribute back into those meetings. We're asking hard questions, and we are also providing documentation and code examples and things like that. So it's pretty amazing to partner with them. Literally, we got hooked in with them from the Atala PRISM Pioneer program. So thank you, IOG, for getting us like up to speed in this identity ecosystem. And yeah, it's just super excited to partner with them. That's an incredible community, the Trust over IP, Diff, and Hyperledger and Carry communities. They're building real stuff, real use cases, and it's just really fun to be a part of it. That's it for me.
Thanks, Lance. That is fantastic. I love the open source ecosystem view you have here. Look out for the fun challenge setting document link, because I suggest that we put something like this in there as we're setting our challenge so that people understand where they're pitching their proposals. Just a thought. But thanks for the great work you and the team are doing. It's really good to see progress in the space. We know that Catalyst funding is not being wasted when people like you demo, so thanks a lot. And without wasting too much time, we're going to hand over to Ninh to take us away with Snapbrilla.
Awesome. But before I do that, thank you, Anushka. Awesome, Lance. Michael, did you have a question or comment?
Yeah, I did. But go ahead. If the time is, I can come back with my question. I'm not sure what's the priority.
We got time. I have a lot of team members here. We do miss some core developers on the team that couldn't make it. So we will demo as much as our team wants to demo. So Michael, we have a couple of minutes if you have a question.
Okay, good. Well, since you're asking for feedback on the UI, and I'm a noob to this, definitely, which is kind of good because the noobs kind of bring in the use cases, right? And there's that connection. The question that I put in the chat earlier, it was kind of addressed with the CLI, and I don't, you know, I'm new to that. So, but just kind of noticing that, you know, I'm very interested on the educational side, and that these credentials could have quite a lot of information in the metadata that, for example, an institution would want to give or receive. And that I'm kind of seeing like a phone is not really going to kind of cut it in institutional settings, or even for myself. So I hope there's going to be a desktop, or at least maybe that's what the CLI thing is. And that's not my main question right now. I just wanted to put that out there on the UI side. I know it's early days for thinking about that, but it seems like it's always kind of good to start as soon as possible, and that's what you're doing. And I have more ideas on that. My question though right now is more about, given that I don't understand this technology really very much at all, but I'm assuming that NFTs are going to come into credentialing in various ways. And just for my noob mind, if you could kind of go back to the model and see, like, how would an NFT sort of fit into this credentialing wallet, basically, if that makes sense.
It does make sense. If you're asking me, I don't know a ton about NFTs. There is I was just listening today to Proofspace talking about being able to convert verifiable credentials to tokens to be able to be used in a DAO. And so I do imagine that there is some similarities to holding an NFT and holding a verifiable credential, but they are significantly different in the sense that you know, you can sell an NFT to someone else and they can be then the owner, whereas a verifiable credential, in order to give that away, you would have to give away your private keys, which you would never do.
Yeah, no, I mean more in the sense of, you know, that you would create an NFT, and the NFT would be go into the credentialing process, like, for example, on an institutional side, for example, a school, you know, there's let's say a degree traditionally, you know, and you've reached that level and you have that credential. And it seems to me that there might actually be like an NFT associated with that now. Maybe this is really in the weeds. It's maybe not that important, but I was just wondering if there's sort of an easy answer, or, you know.
No, yeah, I don't know the easy answer, but I do agree that that use case is definitely going to happen. How to properly associate the two, I don't know.
Okay, thanks.
Yeah.
All right, Scott, is your question a long one?
Yeah, it's about as long as Michael's actually, and then I'm going to talk for 10 minutes, and then I'm going to get to my question at the end. No, I'm just kidding. I'm kidding, Michael. I'm kidding. No, my question was, have y'all thought of, for the mobile app, have y'all thought about like the developing nations, countries, as far as like any type of bandwidth issues, availability?
Yeah,
That's
absolutely.
pretty much it.
Actually, thank you for saying that. I didn't even mention that. That's really like, those use cases were kind of what we were born out of. We honestly initially came up with the name Roots Wallet or RootsID for grassroots efforts in Catalyst. Like those initial proposals when we did the first cohort of the Atala PRISM Pioneer Program, a lot of those proposals were developing nation, like creating SSI opportunities so that people's educations are preserved and verifiable, and land rights in Zambia, there was Ethiopia, there was Indonesia, Latin America. So we absolutely want to build the wallet so that in low bandwidth situations, it will still be very useful, still secure, still even some form of verification. So those barcodes that we were showing, for instance, you could imagine if you come up to a border and the station you know, they want to verify, let's say your vaccination status or something like that. You want to be able to show that verifiable credential, and you want them to be able to scan it and receive it. Then depending on the connectivity, right, in terms of what they're able to verify, but there are libraries that we were looking into, libp2p, which is like the underlying messaging system for Rodolfo, remind me the name of the file system. Well, anyways, libp2p.
Sorry.
They have tons of libraries for
IPFS.
instance.
IPFS.
Yes,
is it?
yes, thank you. IPFS. They have libraries for essentially communicating over Bluetooth and other ways like that, that you were able to make connections. So we are super interested in that stuff. It's probably a little bit early for us to promise anything, but I will say that we definitely want to show that. To be honest, I'm going to Consensus Conference, you know, here in a few weeks. All we're going to be able to do when we're playing around with Roots Wallet is scanning each other's barcodes for our DIDs and verifiable credentials. I would love if next year we were, you know, connecting via Bluetooth or something like that, and sharing, but not relying on necessarily Wi-Fi or anything like that. So hopefully that's the future.
Appreciate the feedback, and I think it's important for a lot of developers to think about when they're creating these projects, because they create these graphics intensive, and you know, you got to rely on a Wi-Fi connection or something. And anyway, yeah, appreciate it. Good luck with the project too.
Absolutely. Thanks, Scott.
All right, thank you, everyone. I'm gonna jump right into it and share screen. Can you guys see it? Let me just, actually, let me move this to the main page.
Yeah, it looks good so far.
Okay, awesome.
No, but let's see. Can you move your cursor? Oh yeah. Okay, it looks like it's updating. For a second there, it looked like it was frozen.
Here we go. Okay, awesome. So just a quick introduction to what Snapbrilla is for those of you that do not, that are new, right? We essentially are building mentor-mentee bounties, and eLearning got funded in Fund 8 for 2 proposals, both for this one and for quadratic voting and funding. And our mission is to solve some of these big problems where people are quitting. The great resignation is happening globally, and people are trying to find better opportunities, better careers, especially if they're trying to break into tech. There is a lot of bias and a lot of challenges that comes with, you know, how do I get a job? Do I need to study for coding tests, or do I need to just learn the skills? And at the same time, the open source ecosystem, where there's a lot of common pool of resources, it's overused, underfunded, and even a lot of senior developers are burning out. So our mission is to get more people to address a lot of these issues, fund projects with fun open source bounties, hackathons, workshops, and to do that with quadratic fund matching, right? We will hear, I have different teams here, so we'll hear hopefully from the Web3 team, the progress on the quadratic funding and voting, and helping people build the on-chain reputation, which at this moment we're collaborating with the JFF Labs and the World Wide Web 3C community on pretty much a universal wallet schema, so that it can be interoperable across Atala, PRISM, or Hyperledger Aries, and so on. You know, the way I see it is SSI is really the core of society, has the potential to, like Lance said, like whether it's governance, whether it's, you know, access to more opportunities, or whether it's your health records, educational records, whatever it is one of the core technologies that can impact, you know, generations and generations. So with that said, I am gonna switch over, and we have a couple of my co-founders on here, Beatrice and James. Are you guys ready to demo? Yeah, awesome. So website. So what I'm showing you is like the design demo, right? And then the different team members will actually show what's on dev and localhost. So here, our website, we focus on helping people learn and grow, earn their on-chain reputation with bounties, get funded, and fund, especially the public good ecosystems such as open source. We have about section with our team members, and we just want to get more people into the Cardano ecosystem, as well as building a hiring platform. I can show what the hiring platform looks like. So people can sign in using their Web3, Web2 and Web3 passwordless login, invite team members to help them collaborate and build bounties and manage bounties, be able to create the bounties themselves, right? So import all the information for the bounties, invite talent and candidates to engage in those bounties. And then they would have a business management console where they can manage everything. See how many pull requests and commits, all the disparity rating, all the different users, right? Diversity, to make sure that their hiring and opportunities are fair, and join on the discussion with the different team members, as well as completely see the whole dashboard. Now, going out of the business side, course community, join our Discord. I'll have a link later. And then exploring the bounties themselves, right? So exploring different bounties on the platform using search and filters. We're showing off the RootsID beta backup recovery bounty. So let's say Roots, you guys just got funded and you're looking to hire developers and create opportunities for people on the platform. You can go and post a bounty to help you push some of your projects forward. This can be used for many different things, right? It can be used to perhaps onboard CAs, right? As a bounty. Go on a bounty, do a proof of life or proof of something, and then we would help you issue the SSI. So people are able to express interest. So for example, if someone's completely new and wants to join a bounty as a mentee, they can put in their information and see their on-chain reputation, as well as express interest as a mentor or individual contributor, right? Then we have grants. For grants, people would be able to connect their bank accounts. So 5 bank accounts and the crypto wallets. We do support Yoroi, Nami, and Eternal. There may be one more that I'm missing, I'm thinking of, but simply to check out, integrate both USD and ADA, and then see quickly what the transaction and the amount that they have. To vote for grants is very simple, just adding things to cart like this and setting up the payment, and also check out the different teams, joining on the bounty, joining on the discussion, see the different Git history, as well as launching the IDE. Of course, we help our businesses and employers comply with equal employment opportunities and others, right? This information is also written in a DID, so users are empowered to eventually use zero-knowledge proofs and ZK predicates to just say, yes, I am diverse, instead of giving the company or underrepresented or self-taught, instead of giving all the company everything. And then they can start using a collaborative live ID, right? So if the work is done and people want to cash out, for example, a winning team, they would be able to just share and cash out, and others. Now, in the profile itself, now we are aware that people have Web2 profiles like LinkedIn, GitHub, and so on. But we want to help people transition into the SSI world by essentially helping to create their on-chain custodial wallets on our platform. If they wanted to export it out, they also can. Right, and then that would go into a wallet like RootsID or Hyperledger and so on. So that's a quick demo from my side. I'm gonna popcorn back to you, James.
Yep. And as you saw from the very beginning, the homepage, are you sharing then? Or are you getting ready to?
Yes.
Awesome. So here's the actual website. So I have been going through and creating the actual website. This is going to be live very soon. So you can see here the design in full force and in action with everybody's information, along with the opportunity to go through and get started, and it would take you to the appropriate pages, as well as joining the community and all of our various social networks. So look to this to be snapbrillia.com here soon.
Awesome. Thank you, James. All right. Beatrice or Frank, you guys want to go next? Awesome.
Yep, sounds good. Thank you, Ninh. Beatrice, unless you'd like to go first. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, we can hop into some of the updates on the Web3 and the SSI side here. So some of our team members couldn't actually make this call, but we did compile like a brief presentation on behalf of the Web3 side. I'm just looking through the participant list to verify. So on the Web3 side, we are implementing our quadratic voting and funding use case. We have our on-chain logic in Plutus Haskell, and our off-chain logic, we're utilizing the serialization library through Emergo to construct transactions. And then when it comes to querying datums from UTXOs, we're utilizing BlockFrost API. I can provide a quick demo of the BlockFrost integration. Our team actually just solved this morning. Our good core team member, Tazos Faltinos, isn't here to demo, but I can provide this demo on behalf of kind of like the main ideas. So this is on Cardano testnet via the BlockFrost API. We can query a specific script address by appending the script hash here and getting back a collection of data hashes corresponding to a collection of datums per UTXO. So what we'll be doing is utilizing this initial address for our quadratic voting script, querying each data hash, looping through. I'll get to the JavaScript implementation in a moment. And then we pass this along to the scripts datum endpoint through BlockFrost to get back the raw fields and the raw values. So for instance, 42 was an integer that was written to the metadata of the datum for the data hash associated with the UTXO at this specific script address. The way to implement this in JavaScript, I removed the project ID for security reasons, but this is just a simple fetch example. We're constructing, again, our transactions with the serialization library through Emergo. We're going to be looping through after an election or voting period to get back all of the metadata associated to the datums for a given fund. And in our case, the funds operate similar to Catalyst, except we have some nuances that are more in alignment with Gitcoin's quadratic funding model. And again, this is just to show you guys kind of where we are in the process. We'll have further demos to come. We're preparing a full end-to-end demo for consensus. So if you are at a consensus, we look forward to showing everyone here. That's kind of from the Web3 side. From the DS side, we do have team members here to, let's see if actually is Richard. Yep, so Chow, would you like to walk through a little bit of the updates on the Hyperledger Areas integration?
Yes. Right, let me share the screen.
Can you guys actually share natively in Zoom? Like Frank?
Let me try that.
If yes,
Oh, I'm
It
sorry.
doesn't give me the option.
Oh, yeah, were you able to see that screen share just now?
Yeah,
no?
I did, yeah.
Oh,
Okay,
cool,
awesome.
okay.
So we don't need the
Awesome.
Google Meet anymore. Thank you, guys.
Right. So we just I deployed the Akai, which is the Aries like Python cloud agent with the Snapbrillia, and I set up on an AWS instance. And here's all the API, the Swagger doc of the API calls. And as you can see, we can go through the DID, the wallet DID function right now. So let me get through the wallet. Yep. So this one is the wallet DID, which can list all the DIDs in the wallet. The result is here. Now we have 2 DIDs in the wallet. So if you go create a DID now, execute. So it created a new DID here. And we run the wallet, list wallet again, you can see, yeah, we have 3 DID right now. So here's the new DID that's created by this API call. So right now we are like, I'm trying to connect this cloud agent to the Indie node of, because now right now it's connecting to the wrong. Let me see. I can show you guys. Yep. So right now it's connecting to this node, but it's not in the node. So we cannot like issue credentials right now. But after we connect it to the Indie node, we will be able to issue the credentials with this like cloud agent. Yeah. So that's it. That's all. All right.
Yep, Chow, thank you very much. And as demoed, Chow was showing the VAN network, which was published by the government of British Columbia. And it's sitting on top of an Indie ledger that is private. So what we're going to do is we're in the process of spinning up an Indie ledger. And then we have 2 demos coming up. One is with, there's a group called JFF doing education credentials. They have a specification for badges. They call it the Badge 3.0 spec through W3. And this is one step towards interstate interoperability when it comes to shared schema definitions of verified credentials for the broader education sphere. So this would lead to essentially, proof of education, which in a proof of reputation sense is pretty important, especially for people to pre-populate their profiles on sites like Snapbrillia with credentials they've already earned through formal education. In other words, like a bachelor's degree or a diploma. So Chow, thank you very much. Any further updates from the DS side? If anyone would like to hop in from the DS side. Yep, some of our team members aren't here today. But yeah, with that, I'll popcorn to Beatrice. Actually, Rodolfo, you have your hand up. Is there a question here?
Not a question. Just want to mention that with RootsID, we're just finishing the integration between the Akapai and PRISM. So right now we have the Akapai writing DIDs on PRISM, resolving, and we are now submitting and issuing credentials. We need to resolve some stuff there with the document as is resolved by PRISM, but in a week we're gonna have that part I think done, completed, and maybe you can use it on your demo or maybe on your system.
Oh, Rodolfo, that's awesome. You're essentially approaching it from one different angle, because we have the Akapai and the Cloud Agent integration for the Indie side. You're focusing on the PRISM side, so that'd be awesome to come together, you know, in the spirit of interoperability, especially around the ZK predicate logic, as we talked about in our SSI Scrum prior to this. But yeah, thank you. That's awesome news.
Welcome. Yeah, keep talking together, working together.
Yeah. We love you guys. We consider you guys members of our team. So thank you again. And yeah, I guess with that, popcorn to Beatrice.
Okay, thank you. Thank you, Frank. My co-team cannot make it, so I'm going to share. I will share on his behalf. So what today I want to share with you. 1 second. Why this one? 1 second. Yeah, I want to share with you today. I don't know if I'm sharing, find a way to share inside of, let's see, cannot find sharing. So today I just want to show you guys what we're doing, and so especially what James Ninh just talked about. It's where the candidate or they can you know, select, express their interest on a bounty, and then they can create the team, all the stuff. So that's what I want to share with you.
Beatrice, do you want to hop into the Hangout? Do you want to hop into the Hangout?
Yeah, let's see. I see the share screen now.
Okay, awesome.
It doesn't allow me to share. Does not allow me to share. Well, yeah, it looks like I'm going to the Hangout because I cannot see. Yeah.
Okay, sounds good. I'll share the Hangout, and then you can share there.
Thank you. Thank you. I cannot share. Sorry.
Here's the link, Beatrice.
Okay.
I will Slack you.
Okay. I am so sorry. We got it. Thank you.
Your mic is very quiet for some reason. I don't know why. It was like Quasar's mic. Anyways, while Beatrice is setting up, do you guys have any questions or any comments, feedback so far?
I'll throw out there really quickly that I mean, all of this is really cool. It's nice to see a like true user facing app that's going to be, you know, leveraging Atala PRISM and, you know, our SSI ecosystem. It's very exciting.
Thanks, Lance.
And so I have a quick question then, and maybe to Lance also. It might be a stupid question, but is there a way to create a credential using or integrating somehow, like say your Google login, your LinkedIn login, or would that just create like a profile? So yeah, I've wondered that. I'm not too technical into DIDs and SSI, though, I'm educated on it somewhat, but that's not my area of specialty. So leave you that.
Yeah.
Question. Thank you.
So yeah. So Scott, essentially when you create an account with us, right, you can log in with, one of the Web 2, Web 3 options. We don't create a DID wallet for you until you take an action that is significant. Let's say you join a bounty or complete a bounty or you vote, right? Because there's a cost to creating a DID and a wallet, just like any blockchain transaction. Yeah, but the custodial wallets, they're essentially like centralized SSI wallets, right? Will help onboard people to the platform, to SSI, much better than if someone had to go and download an app, right? And then scan a QR code and do all of these different options. We essentially do it for them with the ability for them to completely export all of their SSI data into their own SSI wallet, right? So think of like, Coinbase has a crypto wallet. Once you sign up for an account, you don't have to create one, but they create one for you, and then eventually you can move the money out. Does that answer your question, Scott?
I'm ready.
Kind of. I understand what you were saying, though. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Feel free to put in the chat while Beatrice is demoing. And back to you, Beatrice.
Yes. So now I want to go to demo.
It is super hard to hear
I'm
you if you're talking.
Yeah, I'm already sharing my on the.
Yeah, we see it.
I'm already sharing. Oh, okay.
But it's just very quiet.
Okay. So so I already set up the this is the page where they're gonna come automatic. Let's see this one. Yep. So they're gonna come here when they are from the bounty. They will express their interest, and then after that they will after creating the account. Oh my goodness. They set up their account, and then they will see the team available. This internet. Okay, they will start. That's the team available. They will see it here, and then they will join the team. Go to the team page, and then at that there they will join it. So and like I said, the oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. the app is still in production, so there is some. My internet is so slow. There is some stuff they're not connected yet, but we're working on it. And let's go back. Okay, so after the voila. So when they're done, join the team, and then they're waiting, and they start working on the IDE. But for now, because there is some background already done, but they're not connected yet to the button. So that's why I cannot show you exactly what I mean by go to the team page and then all the rest. But I think for the next one that we're gonna show, we have more to express, more to show you. But for now, we mostly where this where we are now is the candidate can choose a bounty, they can create their account and then express their interest to the bounty, and the connection is already there. So, but I cannot show you what now, but later on the next a demo, so you will have to see more and about it. But I'm sorry, we cannot because of the some of the button is not. I tried to do it before that, but I got a bug, so I said, okay, I'm just gonna show you what is I can demo it what now. So it's not a lot, but that's what we are.
Awesome. Thank you, Beatrice. All right, I am gonna demo something. Let's see. Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, looks good.
Awesome. So if you guys remember, I showed like the business management console earlier very quickly. This is actually a deployed version, still not finished because there's we're fixing bugs and so on. But you know, you can go here, you can sign up, and you can put in your information. If you don't have an account, I would show you all off, except they haven't been properly integrated yet. And you'd sign up. So let's see. Okay, and then I would be able to invite my team members, and they would get a invite email, right? And you can join them. You can make them a blind user or not a blind user to make sure that it's similar to like blind hiring mode, where we would remove all of the personal identifiable PIIs and put them as a member, review your admin, and so on. You can skip, and then you can create bounties, right? And you can, or assessments, whichever, and you can integrate with our get a repository through GitHub. Create different bounties, edit the information for the bounty. For example, you can launch the ID from here, just check it out. Task description, comments, and then pass all tests, for example. Any links, time estimation, open office hours, obviously. I'll pay, I don't know, $1,000 for it. And then you would be able to invite people, right? Now I don't have any candidates to invite, so I'm just gonna go back and skip this whole process. Here's the dashboard. Here's the different analytics that you can pick out. Obviously, I don't have any candidates in here yet. The different projects, you can add a project. Not yet. You can add bounties, right? Using a GitHub repo. So this would already authenticate it, and then we can pick up the different repositories that we have on Snapbrillia, and then just go through the process again. Yeah. Is there anything else at this time? There's support, feedback, notifications, company profiles, adding members to FAOR. So this is on the business side, right? More is coming. Okay. So I just want to quickly ask anyone else on the Snapbrillia team want to share something with our community?
Did you want to share the IDE?
Oh yeah, that's right. Let's do that. So this is what happens when you launch an IDE. It just launches. There we go. Can you guys see my screen?
Yep, looks good.
Awesome. So I'm gonna raise my hands, right? And James, you can do, I don't know, apt get something. So James is on it right now and he's coding collaboratively. Yeah, or I can do this. There's full Git control, source control as well. Like this, right? Or you can check out the different source code, or our source code, right? You can see the different changes and, you know, commit them or discard the change, delete the file forever, be gone. And you can work with your team and commit. Yeah, awesome.
No, I was just going to say, yeah, so this is going to be our cloud IDE. So people can work collaboratively and not have to worry about the setup environment process.
Awesome. All right. Thank you, everyone. It's been a long demo. Do you guys have any questions, any comments, feedback for us? Obviously, it's still work in progress. We are, you know, working really, really hard to get this all together by consensus. Right? We have 2 demos, one at consensus and one for the JFF for the DITs. We want to roll out, at least show like the zero knowledge proof and predicates by that time. And after that's done, we're going to work on the interoperability with the Roots CLI wallet to potentially bring ZK proofs to Atala PRISM. Yeah, Anushka,
Great.
Michael.
Thanks. See, Michael has his hand up. Yes, Michael.
Yeah, thanks. My question in the comment there, just on the assessments, I think you just quickly went through that assessments menu. I was quite interested in that. I guess it was the top item there for AI. If you could comment on that, or what other kinds of assessments you have there.
We have an AI expert in the house, Frank. I can also comment if he doesn't want to.
And is that sort of the only? Yeah, okay. I'm interested in that part.
Yeah. So Michael, originally we started Snapbrillia to make assessments more inclusive, because assessment is oftentimes the #1 blocker why underrepresented and self-taught engineers can't break into tech, because they go to bootcamp, they learn the skills, but then, you know, assessment is just a test. You study for that test, you get good scores, and you don't, right? So we wanted to build AI assessments that are more inclusive, that are based on real projects. So let's say that you put in any GitHub repository, then we would be able to generate like a coding test based on that, right? It is a very tough challenge, right? So there's a lot behind it, a lot of NLU and NLP, and then GAN work. I don't know if you're familiar with, what's that thing called? GitHub's Copilot and the GPT-3, machine learning, and okay, popcorn to you, Frank.
No, I heard you popcorn to me, but that's precisely right. This is like a deeper task on the data science team internally. We're pulling inspiration from GitHub Copilot's research, and then also GPT-3's public domain research into NLU and code generation. But in this case, we're doing assessment generation. So there's an added layer of semantics on top of the code generation. The NLU comes in how do you basically construct the question to a problem? That's one aspect. And then given the question, how do you construct the problem? And then given the problem, how do you construct permutations of the unit testing required to solve the problem? So this is an ongoing research topic internally, but we hope that we can produce a assessment generation tool that is AI assisted, similar to GitHub Copilot, but it'd be like assessment Copilot.
Okay. And NLU, what does that stand for?
Natural language understanding.
Okay.
So it's like deriving the semantics from a given string or collection of strings.
And it's going to be looking at code, that thing, right?
Yeah, yep. So the semantics are broken down into two parts. One is semantics on like the NLP side, which is simply whatever language you're speaking. If it's English text, you know, there's the NLU realm of English, but then there's the NLU realm of the tokens underneath the programming language itself. And this is why we're tapping into Pigments. Pigments is a library we're utilizing to pull out the semantic relationships between keywords in a language or given languages. And this is one of the nuances of the project, but those are the two realms of NLU.
Okay, thank you.
Yep.
Wow, there's a lot of words I don't understand.
Right.
Awesome. Anushka, popcorn to you.
Thanks so much. Thanks, Ninh, and thanks, Lance, for and team for your live demos and sharing the progress that you are making, and proving to our community that we're not wasting the Catalyst funds that have been issued. So thank you so much, you know, for further creating belief in what we all stand for and what we're trying to create. You are really, really appreciated. So please know that. And thanks to all of you for attending and seeing what is available and asking inquiring questions and learning more. You know, if you are interested in learning more about self-sovereign identity, please let us know. We're here at the town halls every weekend. We can add you to the Pioneer program in its current state. We are upgrading the program and adding more content to it so that we can give people more like the foundations of SSI, and then building on SSI, and then some UX design module as well. So we really want to, you know, see Cardano grow from strength to strength, and we want to see Atala PRISM, you know, provide good infrastructure that helps the community to really flourish. So yeah, please stay in touch. Thanks for attending, and yeah, go well and stay safe. Thanks, everyone.
Thank you, Anushka.
Thank you, everyone.
Thanks, Anushka. Thanks all.
Bye.
Then
Thanks for your
please
time.
record